Have you ever wondered how the electronics that we use daily are designed and produced? Because there's more than one way in the electronic industry. Today we have with us Diego Poderoso, an engineer with experience in the electronic field.
Hello, Guadalupe. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. So let's talk about the ways of manufacturing and designing electronic devices. So I wanted to ask you, what are the main avenues for industries to produce and design?
Well, basically speaking, there are two primary options that companies could choose: ODM, original design manufacturers, and OEM, original equipment manufacturers. The choice between them will depend on companies' resources, strategic goals.
Could you explain the difference between ODM and OEM?
Certainly, when a company chooses the ODM route, they collaborate with a company that not only produces the product but also designs it. So they take care of the whole development process from conception to manufacturing. On the other hand, OEM involves collaborating with a company to produce a product based on the designs and specifications of the company itself. It is very important to remark that the company retains control over the design and branding aspects, while outsourcing the manufacturing process.
What do companies normally do?
Well, that's an interesting question, because I would say that most of the companies would use both depending on the project. The ODM approach would suit you better, I would say, if you are creating a new product for a new market, or if it's a low-end device. ODM is not necessarily a bad thing. For example, in the smartphone sector, it's a very common approach for those low and mid-end devices of those big companies with huge portfolios that cannot take care of everything. But obviously, the companies will try to develop from scratch the most important products of their catalog, so they could add that extra value with those unique features. Most companies will use the OEM approach for this, mainly when they don't have their own factory, for assembling the key components or even the whole product.
So what are the main advantages of each one of them?
We can think about ODM as a development team plus a factory, with a big catalog of products that can be customized in some way.
So the cost and time of taking the product to market are lower and shorter. Another important advantage is that it allows small companies or teams to sell or create new products without big investments.
And as the main drawback of the ODM approach, I would remark the lack of adding extra value and that you are not in control of the developing process. So at the end, you need to be very careful with the quality control to avoid future problems. Even so, this will be more or less accused depending on the type of ODM product that you want to sell.
So what are the types of ODM products that you can sell?
In ODM, we can differentiate between two types of products. White label products, which can be customized and are produced massively, and other companies can sell them too.
And private products, which allow for more customization and thus will require longer development times and be more expensive.
So what about OEM?
Well, regarding OEM, it's obvious that the main advantage is that you can create a product from scratch. For example, in a smartphone, this will mean to design the PCB, to choose the microelectronic that you want to use, the aesthetic, form factor, everything.
But to do this, you need a really big team of engineers, laboratories to run the test, license your product, create your own molds, a lot of different things.
So it's a much more expensive route and it takes much more time than the ODM approach. So usually you can do this for all your products.
At the end, OEM is basically a factory, but you need to provide the spec sheets, design guidelines, and spare parts that you want to use.
So what is missing from the product development perspective?
Well, a lot of things need to happen before a company launches the product to the market. But one that we haven't talked about yet is the firmware of the device.
In the OEM approach, the firmware is developed by the company itself. But in the ODM, even if they give you a basic firmware, you can add some extra value, creating your own unique features. And they are more flexible to do this.
Well, thank you for your insight in this topic. Could you summarize the information for the audience?
Sure. It's important to remark that the electronic products that we use daily are not always produced by the company stamping the logo on them. Manufacturing companies offer different kinds of customizations. Some will allow you to choose from a catalog and market it straight away, like ODM, and others will provide just the assembly line, leaving the design to you, like OEM. At the end of the day, it's important to know what your target market and your goals are before choosing between ODM and OEM.
Thank you, Diego, for your time today. And if you want to know more, go to techteamz.io.